Hi guys and welcome to Trazone.com. This is Mohit Soni. What is in front of you is a very good looking Toyota Camry hybrid for the year 2022. Yes, it was launched earlier in the market, but sadly because of the pandemic we couldn't get our hands on it. But we finally have it. We spent a week with it, and what do we think about it? Well, like I said, it's a really good looking car. This is not your typical boring Toyota design. Toyota has taken it to the next level. It almost looks like a Lexus, and the side profile is where it truly shows that. But as always, let's begin with the front. You can see a very nicely done bumpers, which has this flat effect on it. Even the LED DRLs have the same effect. You've got that very global V-shaped grille that Toyota uses in many of its international models, which makes it look really nice. This is one of the best front ends we've seen in a really long time, apart from every other luxury car manufacturer also, if I had to include. One of the best looking sedans. It grabs a lot of attention on the road, and then when people see what badge it is, they're really surprised that it's a Toyota. So, and it's also a hybrid because, as we all know, it's a blue tint, so that's what people think about it. You and I know that this is of course a hybrid sedan. At the side profile, I would everybody would call it a Lexus, but I would call it something like a European sedan because of the past, because it's got a very front sharp design like a Japanese car, but the side profile is a very age-old European sedan, which surprisingly gels well with the car. 18-inch alloy wheels look really nice. The spoke design looks really good. It's very sharp. Hybrid badging over there. Again at the back, a lovely set of tail lamps. They look really good. I've been seeing this car for quite some time before I drove it, and it almost immediately felt like a Maserati to me at the back because the way the tail lamps have been done. But then I realized, then I also came to know that, of course it's a Toyota when I was seeing it earlier on the roads. So that's really impressive how Toyota has gotten it done. That is the big boot, despite there's a battery below it, and there's a alloy wheel spare, space saver, spare tire below, which is very easily accessible from here. As you can see, it's an alloy wheel, so that's also no cost cutting can be seen here. It's a boot that should have been more shallow, but there is the battery. But despite that, it's really good. You get LED lights for the number plate holder. There's a camera at the front. A lock is here, and the button here is surprisingly small. You expect it to be here, but it is here, and the button is also quite small. There's a tail lamp here as well, and as you can see, Toyota is using JBL sound system, which I'll come to in a bit. Keyless entry. Truly keyless entry. All you have to do is keep your hand right here. Of course the car is open right now, so that's how it is. You've got sun blinds, which is great. It's hot right now for some reason. In the month of September, there are no rains in Bombay, and despite that, the cabin chills very quickly. This is me behind my driving position, 5'10", and the knee room is humongous, the leg room is humongous. You've got very typical AC vents here, charging points below, and like I showed you, the glass area is big, with the sun blind being very necessary. And this is the Toyota's party piece as always, but it has been digitalized. Usually earlier there were buttons here, now it's a touchpad, so you can control everything from here, and you can adjust the seat angle as well for both sides. The shade can be controlled from here as well, this one. So let me just press this. As you can see, it comes up. That's really nice. And cup can holders are here, and I think that's about it. It's losing the light very quickly on this one, and you can change the modes from here as well. You can change the audio system, volume, and the seat recline. This is at max here, so that's a lot of things to be done. Here you get 3 headrests which are adjustable, and even the middle row passenger gets a 3-pointed seat belt, and it is as easy as putting it like this. You should be doing that all the time. And that is the chauffeur package, where this adjusts the seat part while this takes the seat forward ahead. And let me just push it all the way back ahead and sit behind here to realize and also see the fact that that is part of the hybrid system over there. No, I think that's the subwoofer, sorry. And you've got AC vents to keep that cool. And this is the kind of legroom I have. Humongous. It almost feels like halfway there to the S-Class. So that's really impressive in a car that just costs around 40 lakh rupees compared to the S-Class. Of course, it's half the price. And that's the amount of comfort you have. The seats recline You can sit really nicely. The under thigh support is also excellent, and you've got a sunroof. Of course, it's not a panoramic unit, but it lends a lot of light inside the cabin. And since the cabin is already beige and black, so it makes it look really nice. Plastics are good. Leather has been put here. Soft touch materials have been put here. Even the plastic is soft touch material, so that's really nice. The overall cabin quality, of course, still gets an 8 out of 10 because certain plastics don't feel nice, but this time Toyota has gotten it just right. At the back, it always has had a very good back seat, but it's the front seat that has become better by miles. So let's go ahead and check that out. Height adjustable seat is also on offer with this car, and yeah, let's get inside. Powered seats at the front, and ventilation is also on offer with this Camry hybrid. You've got a wireless charger which works rather well. You've got sockets, USB ports to charge your phone. You've got an air filter which Toyota likes to brand as a Nano E. It's a particulate filter as well. Let's take this a little back and show you what is the instrument cluster like. Well, it's been improved by a huge margin, but then again, it's a Toyota, so Toyota hasn't worked really hard on the graphics part, and Toyota needs to do that because they've got tons and tons of information on board, but it could have been more modern. As you can see, that menu on the left side, the vertical one, can be controlled via from this dial here. I can see the energy monitor. It's showing me the tire pressure monitoring system as well. This is the park assist. That's the Bluetooth. Driving assist is a compass, and you've got the fuel efficiency figures by a long shot. And surprisingly, I like most sedans, the auto trip meter and the instrument cluster light can be adjusted from here. So if I press this button here, I can see a trip that has been done. We've finished 300 kilometers on it. We'll finish more and then write the story about it. And our 300 kilometer impression says that this is a very fuel efficient car. Despite pushing it a bit, the efficiency is around 13 kilometers to the liter. It has dropped to 12.3. The best we saw was 16.7 within the city and on the highway as well. So that's a very, very good number. I'll explain that while driving. And that's the glove box. It's not illuminated or chilled, surprisingly, and that is the touchscreen. It's a big size, but the fonts and the graphics again could have been better, but this makes sure that almost everybody can use it. It's so simple to understand, and that is what seems the idea, because you don't expect Toyota to do things until unless they make sense, and that's the reason why these graphics and fonts have been chosen. Everybody can understand, it's very easy, and that's the hybrid system, how it works. These button types are also here, so that's really impressive. It's all very easy to use, and it's got all those things that you have. And I think wireless Apple CarPlay Android Auto is still not here. ORVM is automatic, and you've got these lovely set of white lights, LED lights here. Sunroof, a better look from here. Headrests are adjustable, of course, at the front. You've got cup can holders, and that is the space you have here. That's a lot of space to keep a lot of stuff. The toe pads, because they are thin, it's great to have this space here below the armrest. And yeah, surprisingly, you've got a feature where the steering mounted steering adjust is an electric, which you don't even get in certain German cars. So that's a really nice thing to have. Toyota has loaded this cabin. This dashboard looks really nice with this V shape following on the inside as well after the outside part, and the JBL sound system is also really, really good. The only thing is that again the traffic noise creeps inside the cabin a bit, but road and wind noise is well in check. I think Toyota could work slightly more on the insulation part, but apart from that, the quality, the feature list is very impressive. You get a lot of features, a very good sound system, a good infotainment system, and the AC works really well. You've got a particulate filter, and all this is related to driving, so I'll get back to it while I'm driving. And yeah, you've got traction control, hold button. You hold this button to open the boot or the fuel tank. This should have been automatic, like most premium saloons. Some space to keep some stuff. And yeah, that's what the front cabin is all about. You've got electronic parking brake, auto hold is here. I explained to you there is ventilated seats, so that also makes life easier in hotter conditions, which is usually our climate throughout the country most of the time. And yeah, again, really impressive infotainment system. Obviously, like I said, the only thing is that the graphics and could have been better. As you can see, everything works with one touch. It's not slow, so that is what you need in infotainment system. That is the defogger for the front and rear, dedicated buttons, 3-zone climate control. So when I press this, and I can set a different temperature from here, and if I don't remove it, and if I adjust the temperature, and then if I adjust the temperature from here, it syncs. So if you want a different set of temperature, so you will have to activate the 3-zone climate control, which is again a very, very nifty feature to have. We've used that, so we know it works really well. It's really helpful too. As the cabin, again, really impressed with the new Camry Hybrid, with the new dashboard design, with the new features on offer. We're very, very keen on telling you how it drives, because it's the Camry Hybrid, and there's a lot of things to talk about. So what is a Camry Hybrid like to drive? Well, this is a 2.5 cylinder motor, making almost 250 bhp of power. Half of it is from the electric motor, half of it is from the engine. It makes around 200 Newton meters of torque as well. And what that does is gives it a very impressive 0 to 100 times of around 7 seconds, which is very, very impressive for a car that delivers 16 kilometers to the liter in overall testing conditions. We drove it majority in the city. We went on the highway, did a test run, and all of that fuel efficiency turned out to be 16 kilometers to the liter, which is almost as good as a premium hatchback. How does the Camry Hybrid do that? Well, if you are using the least amount of accelerator to even do the highest speeds, what it does is it goes into eco mode, and that mostly happens below 100 kilometers an hour. So if you are under 100 kilometers an hour and using only 10% of the throttle, it will go into EV mode. And when it does that, it the engine is cut off, the fuel is not used, the emission goes to zero. And that's one of the reasons why Camry Hybrid does extremely well in the fuel efficiency test. And at the same time, it does really good in the acceleration part, because the battery and the engine both together push it ahead and gives you that spectacular fuel acceleration run as well. So getting off the line is really amazing. It feels very quick off the line. Of course, there is also the CVT, which has been tuned to make sure that it is much more responsive than before. The last time when we drove the Camry Hybrid in 2017 or 2018 is the fact that it was slightly slow on the CVT part, but as always, Toyota has worked on the entire powertrain, so it is making sure that the CVT is responding really well. Anytime we throttle, the car shoots ahead. There is a lot of torque and power which is coming from both these motors, the electric as well as the ICE motor, to make sure that you have enough performance, enough fuel efficiency, and almost and just bare minimum emissions. So that's where the hybrid system kicks in. It does that all the time. So the moment you leave the throttle, it goes into electric mode, it starts coasting, it is charging the batteries. At the same time, when you're just using 10% of the throttle, it's going into EV mode again. And even if the engine is on, because the battery has less power in it, so the engine is charging the battery at the same time. So 3 things or 4 things, which is engine charging the battery, engine powering the wheels, the electric motor powering the wheels. All of this is happening together most of the time, and it happens a million times, and it happens so smoothly, so easily, that you don't even realize that aspect. So it happens a million times, it doesn't go wrong. It saves on emission, fuel efficiency is very high, acceleration is really good. So this is what the future is like. The ICE engines, the internal combustion engines mated to electric motors make more sense than EV to us, because self-charging is what Toyota calls it, and that's how it is. It charges the battery every time you brake, every time you coast, every time you leave the throttle. So that makes life easier. You're getting a very good EV range, you're getting a very solid tank range from the fuel thing. So you can almost do 700 to 800 kilometers to the one full tank along with the battery EVs. So that is a lot of range from a petrol car, and that is unseen before. That is only seen in German diesel's car. So Toyota has made sure that it never really offered the diesel in Camry, at least as far as I know, and it has made sure that the Camry petrol was always there, which also returned good fuel efficiency in compared to its rivals. But then the hybrid came and changed the game entirely. Even Toyota did not expect the hybrid to do so well. Now it only sells the hybrid in India, and that's the reason why, because this powertrain is so good, so efficient. It is also down the fact that because the Prius, the world icon for hybrids, made sure that people wanted to experience the hybrid tech in India. And that's what they did. They bought the Camry and realized that it actually delivers, and then word of mouth spread, and that the Camry Hybrid is one of the best selling cars in this segment, despite a lot of competition. The competition has come and gone, but the Camry Hybrid is there. So this powertrain is what I'm trying to say is truly world class, does a lot of job, does it seamlessly and really well. And that is just one major part of the driving experience. The suspension and the handling has also been tuned. The body roll is there, but it's much better than before, much better controlled than before, and lesser than before, but it's still there. Understeer kicks in, and the tires could have been much more grippier. The brakes also can be a bit more sharper, because when you have regen braking, braking is not that really impressive. So like when you're at high speed, you will have to start braking more quickly, rather than do any sort of late braking, because it doesn't feel that you're braking, and that's the reason why you can go into a sort of a panic mode, but then it also stops. It's all about the feel. It's when you have regen braking, it doesn't really happen. That is something that is a technology that is still work in progress. So when that is sorted out, we assume that Toyota will also provide the Camry Hybrid with the same, with much better braking feel and power as well, which it could do with more, only if you're driving very hard and fast. Steering light and precise when you need it, gets heavier on the highway. Feedback is really good at any given speed, so that's impressive. Another major highlight is the ride quality, because the suspension has been tuned. It has done it's got great ride quality over any given road. There is a hint of crashiness on bigger potholes, but that's bare minimum. On the highway, super stable, very smooth, with bare minimum vertical movements from the suspension. The car stays almost flat and gives you a very smooth experience. The engine refinement is spot on. Like I told you earlier, the engine levels are really good, apart from some traffic noise creeping in. And the overall smooth experience from the engine, powertrain in total, and the suspension setup all makes the Camry Hybrid a very great and calm car to drive. It's not the enthusiast choice. It's not that stiff or fun to drive with a super responsive turbocharged petrol engine, let's say from Skoda Superb or anything like that. But then again, the Camry Hybrid just impresses you with its ability to be fuel efficient, emission free, smooth, calm, easy to drive. It almost feels like a Lexus to drive, Lexus to look at. It's got Toyota's famed reliability, and Toyota's sales and service is excellent in the country. It makes the Camry Hybrid one of the best cars to choose from in this segment. Clearly, even if I was in this segment, I would definitely consider the Camry Hybrid as one of my top options, despite there are very good enthusiastic options in the market. But then again, this turns out to be a very good family car, and we would definitely take the Camry Hybrid, and so can you. If you are looking for a car in this segment, you have to check out the Camry Hybrid. And with all this information, we are very really sure that you can choose the Camry Hybrid as your next car, because if you are in the budget of around 40 to 50 lakh rupees, you should check out the Camry Hybrid. It is worth every single penny, because it has everything you would ever need. It's got comfort, refinement, lower emissions, higher fuel efficiency, luxury features. That makes the Camry Hybrid almost a default choice in this segment. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure you like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and on our website for everyday updates. Until then, goodbye.